Lord, I thank you for waking us up this morning and bringing us this day, Lord. I thank you for providing us with this word, Lord, and letting us see your life, Lord. And Lord, I ask that we do not take your word for granted, Lord, and that we just completely submit to your will, Lord, and your word. Ask that we read not with our mortal eyes, but we read for understanding, and we read with the Holy Spirit, Lord, and that you just continue your many blessings towards us, Lord. And I ask that you just help us today, Lord, and help us to be like you, Lord, and help us to understand your word and willingly come to you, Lord, and help us just know you, Lord, and let your spirit guide us to the message you want us to receive. And let me be a host for your people, and let your people hear through me, Lord, and catch the spirit in your word, Lord God. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. I love you, Lord.
Genesis chapter 26. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham and Isaac, and went unto L.A.W, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I sware unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed multiply as the stars of heaven, and I will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, and my commandments, and my statutes, and my laws. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, She is my wife, and said he, the men of place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that L.A.W, the king of the Philistines, looked out a window, and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. And L.A.W called Isaac, and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And how saidst thou, She is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, Lest I die for her. And L.A.W said, What is this thing thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lien with thy wife. Thou shouldest bring upon guiltness upon us. And L.A.W charged all his people, saying that he that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. And Isaac sowed in the land, and received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great, and went before it, and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of the flocks, and possession of the herds, and the great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them, and filled them with the earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we are. And Isaac departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again in the wells of water which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, and the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names which by his fathers had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley, and found there well of springing water. And herdmen of Gerar did strive within Isaac's herdmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of the Ezek, because they strove with him. And they digged another well, and strove for that also, and he called the name of Siddah. And he removed from thence, and digged another well, for they strove not, and he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, For now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up to thence in Beersheba, Beersheba. And the Lord appeared and said unto him the same night, and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and will multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he builded an altar there upon and called the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there, and Isaac's servants digged a well. And he builded an altar there, and he called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there, and Isaac's servants digged a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar and Azuhath, and his friends, and Pichol the chief and captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me? Have ye sent me away from you? And they said, We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And we said, Let there be an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a
Birthright.
covenant with thee. For thou wilt do us no hurt, and all, as we have not touched thee, and as we have done unto thee, but nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now blessed of the Lord. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink, and rose up betimes in the morning, and swore one to the other. And Isaac sent them away, and departed from them in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came, and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water. And he called it Sheba, before the name of the city which is in Beersheba, unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beri and Hittite and Basemath, and the daughter of Elon unto Hittite, which were a grief of mind unto Isaac and to Rebekah. Genesis chapter 27. And it came to pass, when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son, he said, behold, here I am. And he said, Behold now, I am old, and I not know the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out into the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. And therefore, my son, obey my voice according to thou which I command thee. Now go to the flock, and fetch me thence 2 good kids of goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched, and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were in her house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob, and came unto his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according to thou hast badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto him, Isaac his father, and felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, and his brother Esau's hands, so he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near me now, kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is the smell of the field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven, and thy fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let the people serve thee, and let the nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow to thee. Be cursed every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac made an end of the blessing of Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau came in from his hunting. And he also made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, saying, Let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his father, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy firstborn, Esau. And Isaac trembled exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it unto me? For I have eaten it before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me, O my father. And said, Thy brother came in subtly, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is he not the rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me with these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren, and I have given him to you for servants. With corn and wine I have sustained him. What shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be in the fatness of the earth, and above the dew of from above heaven. And thy sword shall live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, and shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau is touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice and arise. Flee thou to Laban, my brother to Haran, and tarry with him a few days, until thy brother's fury turn away, until thy brother anger turn away from thee, and he has forget that which thou hast done to him. And then I will send, and I will fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary because of the life because the daughters of Heth, if Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these, which are the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me? Genesis chapter 28. And Isaac called Jacob, and blessed him, and charged him, and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padanaram, to the house of Bethuel thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the mother's Laban, and thy mother's brother. And God Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, thou mayest be a multitude of people. And give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee, and thy seed with thee, and thou mayest inherit the land wherein art thou a stranger. And God gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Padanaram unto Laban, son of Bethuel Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's and Esau's mother. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Padanaram to take a wife from thence, and that he blessed him and gave him a charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan, and that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and gone to Padanaram. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan had pleased not Isaac his father, then Esau went to unto Ishmael, and took unto wives which had Mathalath, and the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Naboth, to be his wife. And Jacob went out from Beersheba, and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones that place, and put them down for all his pillows, and he lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and it reached the top to the heavens. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it, and said, I am Lord God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, and thee will I give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in the seed shall all be the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither goest, and I will bring thee again into the land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. And Jacob awakened out of his sleep, and said, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid, and said, How dreadful is this place! This is none other but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning, and took the stone, and he had put for his pillows, and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of the place Bethuel, but the name of the city was called Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed a vow, and saying, If God will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat, and raiment to put on it, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall be the Lord my God, and this stone will I have set a pillar shall be God's house. And all of that thou shalt give me, and I will surely give the tenth unto thee. Genesis chapter 29. Then Jacob went on his journey, and came into the land of the people of the east, and looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of all the well that they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. Upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran we are. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And they said unto him, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with sheep. And he said, Lo, is yet high day, neither is it time to the cattle which should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go feed them. And they said, We cannot until all the flax be gathered together, till they roll the stone from the well's mouth, then we water the sheep. While he spake with them, Rachel came with his father's sheep, and she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughters of Laban his mother and brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her brother's father. He was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, and he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to the house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said unto him, Surely thou art my bone, and art thy flesh, and abode with him to the space of the month. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me what thy wages be. And Laban had 2 daughters, and the name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her to thee, than I shall give her with another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him in a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me thy wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening, that he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to him, and went in unto her. And Laban gave his daughter Leah Zilpah, his maid, for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And she said to Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? And Laban said, It must not be so in our country, to give thy younger before with the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou hast come to serve 7 another years. And Jacob did so, fulfilled her week, and gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And went in also unto Rachel, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet another 7 other years. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived, and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, Surely the Lord has looked upon my affliction, now therefore my husband will love me. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and she, because of the Lord hath heard that I was hated, and he hath therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simon. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, Now this will be my husband, bejoin me unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and she said, Now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah, and left barren. Genesis chapter 30. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, I am in God's stead. Who hath withheld me from the fruit of the womb? And she said, Behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her. And she said, Thou shalt bear upon my knees, and that I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to wife. And Jacob went in unto her, and Bilhah conceived, and Jacob bare a son. And Rachel, God hath judged me, and also hath heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. And Bilhah's Rachel maid conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, With great wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Nephtali. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, and took Zilpah her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, A troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare a second son. And Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed, for she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of the wheat harvest, and found handrakes in the field, and brought them another his mother Leah. And then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrake. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Thou must come in unto me, for I surely have hired thee with my son's mandrake. And he lay with her that night. And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare Jacob a fifth son. The fifth son. And Leah said, God hath given me my hire, because given me thy maiden, thy husband. And she called his name Issachar. And Leah conceived again, and bare Jacob the sixth son. And Leah said, God hath endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. After she bare a daughter, she called her name Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her, and opened her womb. And she conceived, and bare a son, and said, God hath taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, The Lord shall add to me another son. And it shall come to pass, when Rachel had born Joseph, that Jacob said to Laban, Send me away, that I may go into mine own place, and to my country, and give me thy wives and children, who I have served thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. And he said, Appoint me thy wages, and I will give it thee. And he said unto him, Thou knowest how I served thee, and how thy cattle was with me, and for how little which thou has before I came, and it is decreased unto a multitude, and the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. And now shall I provide for mine own house also? And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou shalt not give me anything, if thou wilt do this thing for me, and I will again feed and keep thy flock. And I will pass through all thy flock today, removing all dents and speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in the time to come, when I shall for hire before thy face. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, shall be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, Behold, would it might be according to thy word. And he removed that day he goats were ring-straked and spotted, and all the she goats were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it. And all the brown among the sheep gave them into the hands of his sons. And he set himself 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob. And Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar, and the hazel white strakes in him, and made the white appear which is in the rods. And he set the rods which he had piled before the flocks in the gutters in the watering troughs when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth the cattle ring-streaked, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate with the lambs. Then Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces to the flocks toward the ring-skated, and all the brown in the flock of the Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and he put them not unto Laban's castle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes, the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, and he put them not in, so the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger were Jacob's. And the men increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maidservants, and manservants, and camels, and asses.
Let the Lord add a blessing to this reading, and let us not forget what was read here, and let us open our ears and use what we have learned here and apply it to our everyday lives, and continue blessing others, and bless others with this knowledge, and spread the word around. And let us spread your gospel, Lord, and let us do according to your will, Lord, and let your word guide us in our every action throughout the day. And we thank you for sharing your word with us, Lord. And I ask that you just do according to his will and not forget what you've learned. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. L.A.W, Lord.